What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson here on the Kinganda channel. And I know we're a little bit late tonight. I don't know what time it is in America. I think I don't know, is it like 10? It's a late night show.
10:07.
We wanted to talk to the Pan-African community and the black men that are here and black women. We have a special topic called how to connect to people in the black community to earn money. And all of us are I won't call us experts, right? But we definitely have made connections with one another online, in real time, working with other black people. And we want to share some tips. And this actually is inspired by an article that we saw. I believe it was called How to Connect. What was the name of the articles, brothers? How to be a connector in your industry.
Yeah.
Which is from Madame Noir.
Yep.
It was a very, very good article. I want to put that in the first comment in the link so you guys see that. But guys, go ahead and introduce yourself before we start the show tonight. Brother Dr. D.
Hello, this is Dr. D. Dr. Dix coming straight from South Carolina. And yes, I will say this until people stop asking. That is my last name. It is on government forms. It is not made up. I am
Right.
from South Carolina. You know, people like to make jokes, but yeah,
Right.
I have over 20 years of technology experience. I'm currently an adjunct professor. I have other jobs, so I'm just here to, show brothers and help them to get into different avenues in the community to make money and to become more successful.
Okay. No, thank you so much, brother. Go ahead, Coach.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Hassani Ali from the D, your man's motivational coach, blogger, speaker, and advocate. Check me out on Coach Ali's Corner. I am a relationship coach with my wife, and now I'm segueing into coaching men and the male improvement arena. I did have to go back to work, so I have about 10 years in the mortgage industry, and so I'll definitely be sharing those expertise in that area.
All right, and shout out to Brother Kershaw, Brother Chaos. All right, okay. So let's talk about this. And most of us, I know Brother Ali is from the Michigan area, which has a high African American population. Dr. D's from South Carolina. I'm from Sacramento, California, and a lot of times when I grew up in Del Paso Heights, my mom was telling me, and I'm pretty sure your family was saying the same thing. Leave the inner city and go to the better universities and kind of integrate into the greater society. And my mom kind of had that stigma, like kind of not leave black folks alone, but it was like you need to push outside of the black community and maybe try your hands at working with the greater society. But what I found out that after that is that it's kind of been, I won't say it's the wrong idea, but it wasn't the true, because the most money that any group of people make is within their own communities. And I see the Indians do it. I see them do it here. I see them do it in America. We see the Arabs do it. Nobody tells their children to go into the greater society and forget about their community, but the African American community, even the African communities, when they come in, in Philadelphia, they have Little Africa. They have a lot of African businesses in Atlanta, African communities that pull things together, especially the Ethiopian community in Berkeley. They run a lot of the park and valet companies there in Oakland and Berkeley, stuff like that, in the Bay Area. So, but let me ask you this, guys. What has been your experience of trying to connect to our people to try to, leverage partnerships or earning money in the black community? Who want to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
My experience being from South Carolina, it's been quite difficult. This is the sad part. I can count on one hand how many black men and women have helped me in my lifetime. And a young lady last night, I told her, I said, "You are the first black woman that ever stuck their hand out to help me." And guess what her response was? I'm not surprised to hear that. Dead serious. I said, I want to thank you for helping me, to see other opportunities and network with you. But she said, it don't surprise me. Her words were, other Black folks don't like to help Black people. And she said, she basically was saying, wherever there's a lack of Black men and women, she tries to put them in those positions. Mm-hmm. And being in South Carolina, I went to South Carolina State University, HBCU. Most of the guys, usually I didn't join a fraternity or anything, but it was hard even connecting with the guys when we were doing a computer science degree. I mean, I started school at 22, so I was a non-traditional student, but it was hard connecting with them and connecting with some of the faculty at times to get internships. They will give you misinformed information. So it was a struggle for myself to do it. And one of the things that I'm doing is trying to cut that path out to where I'm able to help young men and women, going into my field or any other fields. And what I actually do is send people jobs. I'll call and say, hey, have you thought about applying for this? The other day, I recommended somebody go for their PMP because I was telling them, a Black person, hey, the world is advancing technologically. You need to go ahead and get your PMP, which is your project management professional. It's a certification. And I said, you need to give yourself another way to make money as the world advances, because we don't know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But it's just, it's sad that I can only count on one hand how many people Black have helped me get to where I'm at. Maybe 5 people. That's sad. Everybody else has been non-Black. And one of the things is the non-Black folks have opened their arms up and said, hey, what do you need help with? What are you doing? And we're more than willing to help. But the Black folks, it was very hard to connect with them. And that's one thing now that I've not changed careers, but I am trying to eliminate that stigma and help other Black folks move up the ladder.
Okay. No, I definitely understand that. Shout out to Sister Judy, Sanov, people in the building. I know this is a business topic, so I'm not going to get everybody over here tonight. Thank you, brother SPK Lifestyle, my brother out there in Mexico from Baltimore originally. It's a good Black man. Make sure you guys go follow SPK Lifestyle. The brother is very, very talented. Brother Ali, have you experienced similar challenges, brother?
I just want to make sure I got the question down correct. You said, do I have trouble making money with our folks?
Well, connecting to people to build relationships, to leverage a partnership in the future in Black America. Do you have that problem?
Yes and no. Okay. Early on, I went to school for journalism. Okay. I wanted to be a sports journalist. My godfather was in the business, so he always put me in the right direction, with other Black journalists, sports personnel. Like, I kind of wanted to do the Stuart Scott thing, or, just always being on the sports scene. And unfortunately, the newspaper industry kind of took a crash right at the exact same time I was graduating. So it has been a challenge since then. I met a lot of people who do a lot of things, but the trouble that comes with it is either you have to literally, come up with a plan, the execution, and everything else for someone to jump on board, or you kind of how do I explain it? People kind of put you in the background, so in case they need you for something, like, oh, he's well to do, he's a stand-up brother, he's a hard worker, so if I need him for a project, I'm sure if I keep him in my contacts, he'll will join the project for the recognition. And at times that's not a bad idea, but at the same time, I want a tangible and return on my investment if I'm going to work with you. So, meeting a bunch of people isn't really the problem. It's just meeting the people who can actually, help you catapult into your next project, or catapult into something that they know will be more advantageous to you, so you can continue on to your career path.
Okay. No. I agree with both people, but I want to just talk about this. Sister Judy here tonight, so I'm not going to curse. I won't use the N-word tonight. But we press 1 in the chat, and you know how it can be difficult to work with our people. And I think what it is, and even I've experienced this, brothers, on the continent of Africa. Before I say this, you brothers, although you had bad experiences, you brothers have reached out to me, right? And we've been able to come together with certain things. We've created some content. We've created some powerful things that have, because our show is targeted towards the African American men community, and now we're on this platform, which is more Pan-African. But I will say that yes, it is difficult with working with people. Even in Uganda, it's difficult. The thing about it is this: somebody in the Black community will give you a chance, and the opportunity with working with Black people is a lot of underdevelopment. What I mean by is this: if you go into white America, a lot of things are already set up. White people, Chinese people, Asian people, they tend to develop infrastructural things fast, people to develop. Even earlier today, I was watching a farm podcast, a farm YouTube channel, and I was looking at how we did our last agribusiness video, and I looked at how so far ahead this YouTube channel was in America over anything I've seen in Africa. The connections that they've made, the podcasts, there are like 300 or 400 episodes. They're having conventions, But the thing about it is with the black community is it's a lot of underdevelopment of administration of ideas, which means that if things are not developed, you lose money, right? That's why a lot of guys in the independent rap labels in the early 1980s and 1990s were able to make so much money. The Jay Princes of the world, the Master P's, because it was a lot of underdevelopment of concepts. Still is, right? The one thing that you must be motivated by in working with other Black people is the fact that that a lot of people are sick and tired of working with Black people. That's the thing. A lot of people are sick and tired of being disappointed. But for me, I don't let that phase me. I look for the people that I can work with. And thank God that you have brothers like the Hassani Ali's of the world, the Dr. G's of the world, the engineering cannabises. You have people like Sanov, people like Sister Judy. And the thing about it is that you focus on the fact that, man, I can work with these people. And the thing that a lot of people need to understand is follow up, right? A lot of things that I've experienced in Uganda with trying to grow this platform is that, I have a good idea, but, if I don't follow up on it or with people, it will fail. And follow up, be a person that closes deals, right? Like if you say you're supposed to be there and if only 2 people show up to a meeting, you have made an accomplishment. Don't get mad because 100 people didn't come. And sometimes I even get mad myself. But if 3 people come, you have made an accomplishment. And follow up the next time. And next time you might get 5. Follow up the next time, right? You might get 10. If you're the person in the Black community that follows up, I can tell you a lot of people in the Black community and the Pan-African community are going to quit. That's just the truth. A lot of people are going to get frustrated because it's like, oh, here we go. We're dealing with the Negroes again. This is that bullshit. And they're going to quit. They're going to give up. As long as you're not that person, you're going to always have success. And the thing about the Black community that you got to understand, and I hate to say this, you don't have to be as good to be as powerful. All right. Like if you even look at Black YouTube, Pan-African YouTube, you can be real good in Black YouTube. But if you to take your kind of, content and put it as far as, the skill set of it and put it in the white YouTube, it might not even work. The reason why it is because if you're consistent with Black people, it means a lot. You don't have to be as good as everybody else. Just be good and improve over time. And the Black community is the only where in the Black in the world, in the Pan-African spaces, that you can show up and not be as good. But if you're consistent and you can get rewarded, when you're competing against everybody else, you better be good, right? Because I know for a fact, my O'Shea Duke Jackson channel, like last year, if I was to have that kind of quality on, and if I was, dealing in the white spaces, it wouldn't mean as much. right? So that's the thing you can leverage. You can know that unfortunately, a lot of Black people, when it comes to some of the business content or some of the engineering content, you might get very, very frustrated because people that are initially supporting you. Just stick with it and stick with it so that you can build networks. Let me just say this also. A lot of the success that I'm having, which is not the best, but it comes from I'm following through. I'll make a good decision with one person, and then this person is referring me to other people because that one person I impressed. A lot of times in the Black community, we look at each other like, "Oh man, he's just whatever." Well, I mean, I'm this, I'm that. Why I gotta talk to him? No, you try to impress everybody from the lowest person to the top person. And what happens is that a lot of times when one person you do right by a person, they introduce you to somebody else that could affect everything, and it just keeps going. And the thing about it is, you can make so much money for yourself and be so autonomous because if you can do that, they can't take it from you. I mean, we could talk about Dr. Umar Johnson all day. I'm using it for example. Dr. Umar Johnson's autonomous. Farrakhan is autonomous. They can scandalize Farrakhan all they want. He got too much infrastructure. You can't take it from him. You know what I'm saying? So working with Black people is the only real way because it's too much opportunity and it's too much things you can develop if you just stick with it. And a lot of people give up too quick. Don't have like this right here. Subject area. We will not help each other. It's true to a certain degree, but that's not always true. And see, I want to address this comment before we take engineering cannabis. We have to get out of this mindset that we will not help each other. That's why we don't have shit right now. We got to get out of that night. Yes, some people that won't help you, but there are a lot of people that will help you. You see, I'm a living witness of that. Okay? See, we got to see this right here. We have to get out of this attitude because if you have the attitude that you can't get no help in the Black community, then you won't do shit. But then the Arabs will come over and do it. The Lebanese will come over and do it. See, that's true sometimes. But I don't think it's true all the time. And if a person don't want to work with you, then they don't want to work with you. But then you go back and you work with who you can work with. And you start from there. And then you see how much opportunity you have. Because if you have the attitude that Black people will not help each other, then you will never have shit. Never. You'll never get nowhere. See, I can't be an African and have that mindset. What I'm doing won't work. But I have the mindset that, I'm going to get you going to, not only will you help me, you're going to support what I do. I tell people all the time on my main channel, you Black men, you're going to support what I do. I say it over here, you're going to support what I do. And guess what? I get the support. I demand I get it. Ain't no, you going to support what I'm talking about. Because I believe what I'm doing is good. So we got to get out of this particular mindset because with that mindset, you can't achieve nothing. And I'm not trying to, be mean to the brother, but a lot of Black people got to get out of this because then you can't build no relationships. You can't build no friendships. You can't build no nothing. And then that's how you don't have anything. The other groups, when they come into Africa, do they have that idea? No. The Chinese have problems the other day that I didn't know. They're going to figure it out. No, we're going to find a way to help each other. And when you have that mindset, you're going to do better. Otherwise, Black people are going to continue to struggle and not have shit. Go ahead, brother Engineering Cannabis.
Thanks, O'Shea. One way, I think two ways I've seen to basically communicate to brothers, which one of the way you're doing right now is proof. For instance, you went to Uganda and went to basically show that YouTube and podcasting is a viable means of profit, of basically making money in Uganda. That's proof. Showing proof that something works. That's basically how you can communicate, social proof. So proof is a huge aspect. Showing proof that you did that in Uganda. Another aspect is appearance. Showing, for instance, if I'm going to do a tech channel or I'm going to do an engineering channel, I'm not going to be dressing up or doing something or talking or appearance. I'm not going to be talking in such a way that I can communicate my thoughts on technical aspects. Or the goal is to appear that I know what I'm doing. Not only appearance, but also show in the way I dress, the way I talk. For instance, when I'm in an airport right now, in my appearance, I'm not when people see me, the first thing they see is a big black guy that he might not know anything. He's just big black. He doesn't know anything. But they don't know I'm a data scientist. I'm an engineer. I'm this. But once I start appearing with good appearance, with my suits, with glasses, with all that, they say, okay, who's this big brother? With a textbook in calculus or a textbook in machine learning, that curiosity comes in play. And at that point, you're not even communicating with your words; you're communicating with your actions.
Yes,
with by just your perception. Because one of my mentors told me the greatest communication you can communicate is through perception. Just by looking at you, just by staring at you, they say that curiosity comes in and says, who is this big guy? Who's this black guy? He's not talking, but he got a big ass textbook on his hand. He concentrating like he making money. Let me talk to him? That curiosity comes in and that communication comes in. So again, appearance and proof. Those are the two big ways people can communicate with brothers. And those ways can you can communicate you doing it in Uganda with your YouTube and your podcast. You're showing the numbers, you're showing the proof that this works. This is a viable means of basically income or anything you want to do. These are viable means. So as your appearance. So I believe those two ways can basically show and communicate to brothers more effectively than any other way. And those are the two ways I believe so.
Let me kind of get to this guy at the stock market. The main question is, why are we mentally figured not to support each other? We need to address that issue first. No, we don't. See, this is the thing that we got to move from. And in the Pan-African community, in the Black community, there's too much, in my opinion, too much complaining and bitching. All right? It is. Not to say that this is not true. But it's too much of, we need to answer this first. You don't have to answer shit first. All right? Do you know every day when I wake up, I never say, I need to figure out why we don't support each other. I need to address the issue first. No. Actually, I don't give a shit about that. I don't care. I don't even care if y'all like me. Y'all know I say that all the time on all my channels. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. When I get up in the day, I'm worried about what I got to do. What my agenda is. I'm here to enforce my will on the agenda. If my goal is to unite Black people or to unite it through content, to unite it through podcasts, to open up, that's what I'm here to do. I don't give a damn about none of that other stuff. I don't care. I don't care. If somebody don't like me and what I'm doing, I don't give a damn about them at all. I just don't care. And you as African people, Black people, African-American people, whatever it is your moniker is, you want to call yourself, you need to be worried about what are you doing. Stop worrying about what other people not doing. You sit there and you confuse yourself worrying about what these other people doing. Who cares? If you worry about being good at what you're doing, you're going to beat everybody. I'm not worried about when I get up in the morning and I pitch an idea, well, why can't Black folk? I don't give a damn about that. I don't care about that at all. I care about what I'm trying to do. Tyler Perry don't give a damn about that. You know what Tyler Perry said today? Tyler Perry said, listen, in so many words. Now, Sister Judy is here, so I won't curse today. But for all of these people out here that complain about my content, guess what? It ain't for you. Stop watching me. Tyler Perry made over $400 million, $1 billion now. Tyler Perry don't give a damn about if you like him or not. And that's how we need to be. The Pan-African community has to stop complaining and bitching about Black people not working together. Now we understand the problem is there. With the Pan-African community, when you say that you pro-Black, then it's your job to work together. Anybody that's B1 pro-black, then okay, then you supposed to be the people that's woke, right? Right? Ain't that what y'all say y'all are? Then why don't you come up with the solutions? Because you supposed to be woke. You supposed to be B1. You supposed to be pro-black. So I don't need no excuses from the B1s. The sellouts, that's what they're supposed to say. B1 should never have that mentality. You cannot be pro-black and B1 with a lot of complaints. Now, we have issues you can address. That's true. But negative mentalities and people like that, get them out of there. Out. Out. This bullshit has been going too long. Negative people with the out. We are here for the agenda. The agenda goes like this. Well, brother, why can't we? Out. 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 Fast. You get rid of people like that. And I'm not being mean, but any kind of out. Gone. Right away. People like that don't need to be here. Go. Today. Because people like that are going to slow you down. You are there for what you're there for. And you're there to achieve something. And you're going to have problems amongst the way. Absolutely. But you're there for the job. That's the only reason why you're there. Anybody else that's talking against that, get them the hell out. They got to go. I'm very adamant about that because why? You focused on what you're trying to do. It's the pro-black community and black men, whoever, it's your job to solve the problems. So get to solving. And stop crying. Black people who want to cry, get them out. Out. They got to go. That's it. And especially if you're a man and you complain about, come on, bro, let's go. There's a door. Let's go. Over here. Get them out of there. You get to the people and you solve. You come to a problem you can't solve, then you figure out why can't we solve this particular issue while we're on the way? Not before we need to stop and figure out, no, we're trying to do this. You get the point. Okay, how do we get to this? The next point. Boom. Okay, now we hear boom. It should always be progress. Not sitting around there speculating about some stupid ass shit. All right, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. Y'all go.
Oh, you want to go ahead? Go ahead, Hassani.
No, I was just gonna backtrack to a point that Brother O'Shea was making. Is that there are are people that will help, and when I will say in personal experience, when I did get help from brothers and sisters, they helped. When I paid for consultations, when I paid for strategy sessions, when you pay that, for that 30-minute or that hour, damn well it always goes over. It goes way over, than it's supposed to, because they have so much information to give you. And the fact that you patronize them, they give you a lot more.
Yes.
And a lot of people, and compared to everyone else, once that 30-minute or that hour-minute mark hits, they're like, all right, that's time. You have to book another one like you're a parking meter. But I will say that for the ones who are thorough and for the ones who truly want to help, the least that what we can do is, put some steam behind them, and you don't have to, do much. That's a simple, like O'Shea was saying in the videos, you share, you subscribe, you comment, you give that person promotion, if they're trying to do something, well-to-do for the community, there's no reason why you shouldn't be sharing everything that they got going on their page. Even if you can't contribute financially. But, for the brothers and sisters who are out there doing the work, we do have to do a better job of letting people know that they're out there. Because they're out there. A lot of times we just don't know. There's a brother out of New Jersey who's selling toilet paper that I did not know about.
Wow. I didn't know about it either.
He sells bamboo toilet paper. And, when the pandemic hit, people were freaking out because they didn't know where to buy toilet paper from. And there was a brother out of New Jersey selling toilet paper. I think you can get up to like 40 rolls for $40. He's real affordable. He's not trying to crack people upside the head. But again, if you don't know, you don't know. And so the more we find out that these people are provide this type of services, we got to get them out there so more people will get on board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let me say the same answer to Ingrid Tater. Thank you for the super chat. Brother says, I don't agree with you, man. Hey, listen, bro. It's not about what you agree with. And I'm gonna tell you like this: in the Pan-African community, for people who are not gonna do the work, it's not about what they agree with. In my opinion, there's things that's debatable. Some shit ain't debatable. And people who complain about what we're not doing, it's not debatable. It's out. It's by. That's the only way that you get shit done. Whiners and complainers in the black community, out. This way. Either you're going to do the work or you're not. Let me tell you, for guys that watch this channel, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not going to do the work, unsubscribe from me. This is about doing the work. I don't want your money. I don't want your subscription. I don't want your support. This channel is not to grow to get views, actually. This channel is for people who do the work. If that's not you, bye. I'm just saying it in general. Bye. Go. I'm not saying you, brother, but in general. Go. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Anybody?
Yeah. By the way, I've tried bamboo toilet paper. It's no dye. Yeah, it's vegan. It's vegan friendly. They sell it
vegan toilet paper.
Yeah, they sell it at CVS. I've been going through a lot of the health stuff. I use this soap called Raw Sugar now. It's vegan friendly and it makes my skin feel way different. It's expensive, but that's just stuff, the dude is selling the bamboo toilet paper. White toilet paper is dyed, and anything dyed is like bleach, basically. Like bleach flour is not good for you. So you try to get non-bleach stuff. But yeah, one of the things is I noticed since I teach school online part-time, when I get students and they see that they have a black guy with a doctorate degree, the whole perception changes. I'm able to inspire those students differently. It's hard for a student to say, hey, you need to do the best that you can to make it to the next step when they don't look like me or they don't look like them. And that's my way of giving back. Teaching is like my second love, even though it's frustrating at times. When I get students to call me and say, Dr. Dix, I really enjoyed the class. I'm trying to get this assignment done. I'm 40 years old. I'm going back to school. 85% of my classes are people that look like us. And they are going back to school, getting an education. So if I can inspire them to be better and help them out, that's my way of giving back. I'm big on academics. I know that, that's one of the biggest things that is going to help the Black community even grow faster. But we have to reach back and help people out, because a black guy taught me in grad school. That's how I got my doctorate degree. He said, Mr. Dix, if you ever want to go to school to get your doctorate degree, I got my doctorate degree. This is in 2014. And I called him in December 2016 and said, hey, I'm ready to take the leap of faith. He wrote my letter of recommendation. I got my 2 other letters of recommendation, and the rest is history. So if you could reach back and help people, and like the other guy was saying, like O'Shea was saying, I don't really have time to figure out either why people are not helping people out. I just do the best that I can.
That's all you can do.
Whenever I can help someone, I reach out, young men and women. I'm realizing, like O'Shea, we were talking, there are a lot of, this is a perfect example. I told a young guy, I said, hey, you graduated from college in May 2019. Did you talk to the school? Do you know in 6 months your student loans are going to come due? He said, I didn't know that. Nobody ever told me that. I said, what you have to do, you are considered underemployed. You need to go file a defer. You need to get your loans, put them in forbearance. I said, you cannot afford to pay for your student loans. Do you know how many Black people? He told me that they don't know that, and they let their loans go in default. He didn't know anything about credit. So if I'm able to help him and help some other Black folks understand the game, I feel very good. So it's things like that. And he told me, I appreciate you helping me so much. I did not know you had to do all of this stuff. And I call and talk to him and keep him motivated. But the thing about that is, it's a young Black dude. still searching for a job. So I call and keep him motivated, call and talk to him about other stuff. And that's one of the biggest things I try to do. I'm realizing a lot of Black folks, we have a lot going on. They're not motivated, as O'Shea was saying earlier. I try my best to keep them motivated, to let them know, hey, you got to turn the corner. Things are going to get better. And being Black, helping other Black folks, if I were to go talk to a high school class and say, hey, I've been where 90% of y'all are about to go, so I know what you're about to face. If you listen to me, I can help you get around that corner faster, not actually go through trouble 20 times. And it's a great thing. I feel good when I'm able to help our people out in any facet possible. But I want to expand. I want to, branch out even more from South Carolina where I'm at and do whatever I can, because at the end of the day, it's up to us. As O'Shea said in some previous videos, it's not we can't depend on political parties. Black folks got to make this. Right. Black folks have to fix themselves. We can't depend on other people to do it.
Let me just say some word about engineering cannabis. Thank you, brother Eric Bird, for $2. People, think that I'm coming off as I'm being mean or an asshole, and that very well may be true. But I gotta tell people that you gotta have a sense of urgency. This is a sense of urgency, right? And we have some situations going on in the Pan-African community with certain people and allegations of scamming. And I want to talk about this topic today is because, things will always be there to disappoint you. Okay. I've been getting disappointed about Black people all of my life. All right. I have a million excuses, with some of the brothers on this panel, our talent, we all went to HBCUs. We have guys on here with PhDs. We have a guy on here with a master's of engineering. I'm 2 classes away from graduating medical degree. We have every reason to not want to deal in the Black community because a lot of us been disenfranchised for being smart. Some of us not accepted as we should be if we were in the other communities. But this is what I want to challenge you. Okay. Especially if you're talented and you're a person that has something to offer. All you got to do is be successful. If Black people, when you worry about being successful and making progress, sometimes I'm going to tell you, when you're working in the Black community, you're going to have to be your own biggest cheerleader. All right. And a lot of times you can measure success that other people just can't measure. For example, and I could talk about this channel. When we started King Gonda, for 2 years, the most views King Gonda ever got in a month was 50,000 views. $100 $300 in a month, right? Spending all kind of money, footage being lost, firing people. I have every reason to want to quit. All right. But I challenge you is to work on whatever you're doing and make it good. Once you're a person that can get things done in the Black community, you're dependable in the Pan-African community, you got it made, And I try to tell people that the biggest opportunity you have as a Black person is in Black America and in Africa. Those are opportunities that you take advantage of, and nobody knows it like you. But when you don't capitalize on that, then it's you, the kids, that can't send your kids to college because you don't have a Black network. You don't have an African network, especially if you're African American. You need to have both. If you don't have those things, you can't amass the wealth. You'll always be working for them for the most part. You won't have the wealth in your community that you should have. Everybody can monetize their Black community, their community. The Jews can do it. The Indians can do it. Everybody can do it. Every other group understands the importance of I need to work with people that look like me. All right. And once you can do that, then you open up the things for Black people will help you. All right. Like, look at Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson haven't delivered shit. And people can help him. Even if you're a person that sounds a little different, let's talk about that. Because a lot of Black people don't have, I would say my mentality where, I'm educated, but, I could turn Negro if I want to. We have Black people who don't have that personality. You just prove that you can do something. People going to accept you. All right. Nobody can argue with success. If you're a person, you're good at what you do, and all of that. I'm going to read this comment. I have an MBA, but the problem starts at the root. We have to understand how to address the problem in Black America as a whole, man. If we can address the root problem, where can we start? Listen, I want to talk about that just real quick before we go. The root problem is always going to be there for certain people. If for people that have that problem, you just don't address them. There's people that don't have that problem. I'm a person that don't work with people who have that problem. Because certain people in the Black community have that problem. I just don't work with them. That's how you can do it. Black people have to deal with people who are like-minded. Okay? Tyler, any Robert Smith, any successful person in the Black community doing very well is not dealing with people who got bullshit issues. All right? The people who write Black Enterprise magazine, the people who do things that are doing with Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson's not dealing with, this shit and if he does, it's minimal. Be the person who don't deal with the bullshit. You don't have to deal with it. If somebody got bullshit with you, then you're going to have to deal with it. Like I said, I'm not dealing with complainers or whiners on my platform at all. So if you're the person, and I'm just going to be honest with you, if you're the person that wants to complain about the issues, don't come on these channels. Go somewhere else. There's plenty of channels that talk about the problems we have in the Black community and how you can fix it. This is about fixing it. There are people that you can work with anywhere in the Black world that will work with you. Some people won't. Even white folks. You got some white folks that'll scam you too. White folks won't work with you too. I mean, look at Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff took like $1 billion from the Jewish community. Remember him? Bernie Madoff scammed all of those Jews. Do you hear Jews talking like, well, we have a problem? And the thing about we have to understand this, Black people are not so different than any other people. Indians have problems with business too. Asians have problems with business too. Whites have problems. It's not as publicized. Every group goes through similar problems. We ain't just the only group in the world that got problems. We got to stop acting like that. Black people are not the only people that have problems. Every group got problems. And it's up to the people in the Black community to solve those problems. How are you going to get to a root of people having problems? By talking about it? You can't talk this stuff out. We've been talking about these problems since Malcolm X, Martin Luther King was alive. That's the thing about Blacks, always pontificating. You can't pontificate those things. Actions are what solves issues. Everybody right now, you look at Nigeria, and I know I'm being long with it. Look at some of the success Nigeria is having for the entrepreneurs. They're solving issues. They couldn't get Hollywood, they made Nollywood. That's a solution. Hip hop not messing with you make Afro beats. Solutions. Black people got to be solution oriented and stop complaining about the issues. Oh, Black people lazy. Black people don't want to work together. Okay, we know that exists. Are you going to be the people that come up with stuff that people want to follow you? I'm going to tell you like this. If you want to win Black people over, have success at what you're doing. Have success that's tangible and people see that what you're talking about works. Proof of concept, like engineering cannabis. A lot of people want to talk about what's not going on in the Black community. You don't have no goddamn proof of concept. You want to sit around and complain all day. Shut up and get a proof of concept. Get a proof of concept. Black people are not dumb. Black people, like, y'all act like Black people are just stupid. Like, you have a proof of concept and you're out there doing something. Black people are going to appreciate that. Some people won't already. Okay? Some will. You gotta work with people who are worried about you. People who want to pontificate about BS. Black people got to leave them alone. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. The people who really want to show up and attend those Zoom meetings, they want to show up and meet you for coffee. They want to show up and strategize. They want to show up and do the work. That's what you talk to, even if it's only 2 people. This show right now, if 2 people was watching this show tonight, I'd be here. It wouldn't matter. I don't care about if it's a million or 3. If it's 3 people, guess what? I'm going to do the best I can, right? We got to have that attitude because you got to train yourself. I'm gonna go hard if it's 5 people. I'm gonna go hard if it's 5,000 people. I'm gonna go hard if it's 5 million people. I got a brother. I'm gonna be quiet. My brother's a pastor, and one day we went to a church service. It's like 12 people showed up, a night service. He was disappointed because the turnout was low, but he hooped and hollered like Jesus just got off the cross. And I was talking to him after the sermon. I said, man, it was only 12 people here tonight. Why did you preach like that? He said, man, if it's 12 or 12,000, when I get in that pulpit, I give my best effort. And I think that's what the Black community, I know, whether you have 1 or 1,000, you give your best shot every day. And you can't get disgruntled about setbacks. 90% of all businesses fail in the world. I would argue that Black businesses fail. People quit too much. Black businesses actually fail for a lot of reasons. A lot of Black business just not good. A lot of Black people just not good at what they do. If you're just decent in the Black community, it takes you a long ways. A lot of us ain't even decent. We don't even care about the customers, about the product, about what we're trying to do, how it looks. We don't even care about that. But if you're really good, Black people appreciate being good because we ain't used to having shit that's really good. Just worry about being good. There are always going to be problems for you to complain about. Worry about being good. And I'm going to tell you about Black men. Black men have to do this. Black men are too easily defeated and are too easy and complain too much. That's why a lot of people don't respect us. Black men, it is your job to figure out what's going on. You're supposed to be the one that solves these problems. Men build, women move in. So until Black men in the Pan-African community or Black men in the Black community say, we're going to come together, we're going to do this, and we're going to work with who we can work with and make it happen no matter what, you'd be surprised at how many Black men or how many people want to help you once you get it going. You got to prove yourself. But that's a part of life. Everybody got to prove themselves. If you move to Africa, guess what? You're going to have to prove yourself all over again. So I want to challenge the brothers and sisters tonight to stop having that goddamn attitude. Have the attitude that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. All right, I'm done now. Go ahead.
Yeah, O'Shea, you just hit the nail on the head with all what you said. We need to move into a more solution mindset. Solve problems. We need to basically, it took me years to realize that all I have to basically, my mindset has to change to where anything I see is how do I solve that problem? Exactly. But also not to move beyond your skill set in solving those problems. And this is what I mean by that. Mm-hmm. O'Shea, you in YouTube, you focused on YouTube, you focused on podcasts, you focused on broadcasting. Right. When you went to Uganda, you didn't go, I'm going to focus on fishing. You said, no, I'm going to focus on my skill set as a YouTuber, as a broadcaster, and solve problems in that way. That's what brothers need to understand. We don't need to leave our skill set and go into something. We need to utilize what we know and solve those problems. If when I go to Nigeria, I said, okay, what are the problems I need to solve? I need to go jump into financial sector. I say, no, I know tech. Let me go figure out how to solve a problem in tech. Let me see if there's a problem in banking, how can I use what I know to solve that problem? Again, I don't go beyond my skill set. I stay within my lane. And that's what brothers need to do. Not go beyond your skill set, not going to, I'm just going to go into this new area and solve problems, but let me focus on what I know and use that to solve that problem. And that's basically how you basically succeed. We do not need to jump. If we know carpentry, we know farming, we don't need to jump into Forex and say, I'm going to go into Forex and say, no, I know carpentry, I know poultry, I know this. How can I use my knowledge and solve a problem? These are the way we need to think. Solving problems with our own skill set that we've built up in years, and we have been known for that skill set. These are the ways we solve big problems, and we do it little by little. You don't eat a whole elephant once. You eat it piece by piece.
Right.
Knowing yourself and knowing what you can do. That's how solutions are made. And I never deviate from what I do. I went to the cannabis space, but I went to the tech side of cannabis.
Right.
Because I know tech and I know it's cannabis. I'm not going into growing cannabis. I don't know how to grow it, but I know tech solutions to cannabis industry. That's where my lane is.
Mm-hmm.
For broadcasting, if you're going to broadcasting, I'll say O'Shea goes into broadcasting for something else. He doesn't deviate from what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to go in the medical side, he's going into medical because he has that expertise too.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't deviate from where he's going. So that's what we need to focus on, what you're good at, and then use that skill to solve big problems. And that's how you win. And that's how I always do. And I will never deviate from what I know to something I don't. And that's how you win.
Let me add on that before I go to. I know I'm bailing with tonight, but I wanted to say this. I don't edit videos. Anybody seen the Farm Up video that we just did? Press 1. The video that we did in Mbale. That video, a lot of people, and thank you guys for the compliments. The editor really appreciated how you guys said it was well put together, it was well edited. I don't edit videos. Somebody else does that. A lot of us, you need to be able to make connections so you can outsource. And a lot of times with Black people, I see this in Black YouTube. Black YouTubers have this problem where they start making money on the platform and they want to keep all the money to themselves and they can't grow the business. Black people, we have to learn how I do this thing in the business and you do that in the business. So let's talk about what you bring to the table and what I bring to the table, and let's combine it and make it a more powerful thing. We don't do that in the Black community as much as we should, and that's the collaboration. I don't edit, but I have people who edit, and they don't create content, but that's what we do. And together we make a very good team. So we need to look at, but you can't get that kind of, you can't get those kind of collaborations if you don't respect each other's talent. So that's one thing we got to do. Learn how to outsource. We're going to have a show on that. Everything I do is outsourcing. A lot of my stuff I do is outsourcing. I pay a fee to outsource some of my content to someplace else, right? I use my managerial skill set to get it out. So go ahead, brother. I wanted just to add on that, but it's a very good point. Dr. D or Hassani, go ahead, brother.
You pretty much summed up a great bit of the video. I'll add this one thing. Your skills have to be transferable. Like engineering cannabis was saying, stay in your lane and do what you can do. But I'll take this back to the point of a video from 2015 when O'Shea said he got fired. He said the skill set he learned from that place 5 years ago is helping him in his career today.
Yep.
And that's one thing. What you learn on a job, I tell everybody, no matter how good or bad a job is going, you can learn something from that job and apply it to things. I'll give y'all a perfect example. I never did videos or anything until I started collaborating with O'Shea and Hassani and Gabe and all the other guys. I never did it before. I just sent O'Shea an email, and that's how we got to this point. And it's enabled me because now with the coronavirus, I am better at doing online Zoom interviews. I know how to talk on Google Meets.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm more comfortable in front of my screen.
Mm-hmm.
So before, I never had to do that before. And now I know how to do all of that. There are things also, too, I learned a couple of years ago. I learned on every job I've had on how to deal with people. And dealing with people has taught me how to deal with students. I might have 200 students at one time in various courses. I know how to interact. I know how to talk with those students. I have very great organizational skills. There's 24 hours in a day. I know how to utilize all 24 hours of my day and still have time for myself. So there are things you learn that you can apply, even in school, on how to figure out problems. Oh, this is the greatest thing I tell anyone. When I did my doctorate degree, it changed the way my brain worked because the way you have to interpret information. Now I can scan through information very quickly and hear it and say that the validity of it is not true, or I need more information. So how I can interpret information, and that helps me in other aspects of my life. So helping out kids or helping out people in the Black community. There are several skills I've learned that I can apply to help us out, which I'm doing now. And I just try my best to do things. So whatever you learn, have your skills transferable. You'll be surprised at what they can do. Just putting the pieces of a pie together. You don't have to know how to write a program or write a business plan. Like O'Shea said, if you know all the big players to call, you're part of the you're part of the solution, because you know how to get people here, you know how to get people there. So that's all I wanted to add to that.
Brother Ali?
Really quickly, and I had to sit here and think about it as the two brothers were chiming in. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I know for the brothers in the education and academia, white collar arena, I know as brothers we have to do a much better job, and I hate that I'm saying this, but flaunting, your achievements, your accomplishments. For the brothers who are working on, protocols for COVID, you know what I mean? Like, we don't give those brothers enough credit because we also don't know that they're doing it.
Right.
Even though, you may not think your job is sexy, as Brother Glenn and Cameron would say, we gotta kind of make our jobs look sexy to Black folks. When the pandemic happened, a lot of people jumped on Forex trading because it sounds sexy. My wife has been doing it for about 6 months, and so what I've noticed was people like the appeal of, all I got to do is learn how to trade currencies, and I could potentially work for only 2-3 hours a day and make all this money. Now, if you're good at it, great, but it's the traininess what brings people to it. So for Brother Andre Hatchett, with the mobile notary business,
right,
if you make that appealing to brothers, like, hey, all I got to do, is show up to a location, have 2 people sign a document, you made your money, you're on your way. The more we get to, just, and I don't want to use the word gloating, but I'm using it for a lack of a better term. But when we use the platform to say, because of my mobile notary business, I was able to purchase a brand new 2020, whatever vehicle, or because of my, my YouTube channel, I was able to purchase my own home. Because I'm a self-published author, I'm able to do X, Y, and Z. And then when people start seeing your successes, they say, hey, how did you get into that business? What did you do to get started? People start asking questions. So, obviously for blue collar work, there's kind of more of a need. I didn't mean to exclude those brothers out, mechanics, plumbers, those things are, those will forever be in need. So people will always need those type of services out here. But I'm just kind of referring to, the guys who are more in the academia, education, white collar fields. For example, myself in the mortgage industry, I could do a lot better job of saying, hey, I helped this brother buy his first home at such a young age, or whatever the place may be. So as long as we're able to, kind of puff our chest out a little bit and say, hey, I'm contributing in this, way, shape, or form, and I can help you get into the same arena, I think we'll be able to help, more people not only get into these industries, but also make more connections in those industries as well.
That's I'm glad that you said it. And Dr. D, we have to understand that, like I said, I was in a white YouTube community today, and I was looking at how some of the farmers create their content, and they have a community that they build. And just like the brother Ali was just saying, the community is what is the important thing around everything that you do. And a lot of times the person that is connecting people, you know, a lot of people are shy too. It's another thing too, in fear of rejection. But look at this. If you want to be insulated from, you know, poverty, it's about who you know. And if you come to Africa where you don't have the safety of 401k, you need to know people, right? And I think in America, white people don't teach us they teach us school. They teach you, you know, academia, but they never stress the fact when they educate blacks is you need to work with your own people to give yourself a better advantage. See, that's something that they don't teach us. And that's something we don't teach ourselves. You know, we tell our children to go to the universities and get the fuck away from the black community. But when you don't have no community and no sense of community, you don't have shit. I've noticed that since I've been here more so. Black people, especially African Americans, have to have a strong sense of community. If you don't have a strong sense of community, you can't do anything. And if you have a strong sense of community, and I'm looking at my brother, Dr. D. Hassani, I can appreciate them because they're in our community. There are different communities for different reasons. So appreciating people in your community is gonna and the brother is saying the right thing. It's not their job, it's ours. That's right. So you have the strong sense of community, and wherever you want to take it is where it's going to go. A lot of time, and the thing about it is with African Americans, and just reaching out for business. For example, I'm gonna give you guys a real thought out thing I did today. This is a true story. I've been working with the Brand Factory. When you guys saw that collaboration, right? I didn't know them. I walked into Design Hub. I asked to be their customer, just trying them out. The Brand Factory has done wonders for me in my business in Uganda. I didn't know the local market. So it goes back to Hassani Ali's point about consultations. Once we did the agribusiness video, I said, you know what? I see there's a need for this. I said, and most people in Africa have farms that are successful. A lot of people do. I was able to get in contact with an agribusiness consultant that's gonna build our strategy for the whole podcast. So I have to do it myself, right? But that's because when you create the professional community, I have a sense of community to be around that, right? These people are my community now. That's who I depend on for my stuff, and you get connections like that. You know, you have to include people. Everybody builds their own community, whether you know it or not. If your friends are losers, that's your community. If your friends are fat and lazy, your friends are broke, that's your community. All right. Black people have high-level thinkers, elite people, stuff like that. Just like anybody else. Whites have it, Asians have it, we all have it. The thing about it is, do you believe in those people enough? So if you believe in those people enough to connect to them, impress them, that's the other thing too. We have to impress each other in the Black community. We act like we don't have to do that. We want to impress white people. And we did a show on my channel yesterday talking about code switching. We will code switch for the white man, but won't do it for each other. We have to impress people in the Black communities. And the Black communities will open doors for you if you're good. So, you know, we have to be proactive for what you want to do. Like all these brothers reached out to me. I had to go out and reach out to somebody else. I create, you know, all the stuff you guys are seeing, Nacello, Club Kinganda. Guess what? I had to reach out to him. He didn't even want to do it at first, right? But you keep creating opportunities for yourself. One person says no, keep creating the opportunity. One person says no, it's all right, it's okay. Keep on. And you have to understand, you keep doing things. Create the Zoom calls for yourself. Start online, email people. Somebody tells you no, cool. And you just keep at it, right? And the more that you keep at it, the more opportunities you know. Let me tell you about this. As far as collaboration, one of the best things I was able to do last year was I was working for bigger YouTube channels. I already was doing pretty good, but I was interning with certain channels, learning more about the business, more about how they run it. I wasn't making, in fact, I lost money in what I was doing, but look at the knowledge. A lot of Black people, we don't look at interning for each other. Like, yes, you need to intern, okay? There's some shit for free that you need to learn from people. I don't care if you're 40, 50. Sometimes you intern to learn knowledge that you can't get. And sometimes your selling point is, hey, I know you, I don't know you, but I want to do it for free. That's how Hassani Ali got to work with Dr. Boyce Watkins. That's how I got to work with, a huge channel last year. Took my income from, a little bit of money to a lot of money because I'm learning things they learn from me. So collaborative effort is how you keep growing. It's how you keep evolving. If you don't collaborate with talented Blacks, you don't grow. Or talented people. The more talented people you can attract, the more things you can do, the more opportunities you can do. If you're like to yourself a lot and you can't really develop. You need to keep around smart people, talented people, hardworking people, and the Black community has it. And the thing about the Black community is this. There's a lot of development you can do. In Black America, you can get away with doing stuff you can't get away with doing. I ain't talking about illegally, but you can install things in Black America that will take off faster than white America. In Africa, it's even better. So be encouraged to seek opportunities, to close people, to follow through on what you say you're going to do. Sometimes do things for free. Develop a reputation, right? A lot of times as Black people, we don't feel like we need to develop a reputation on us being good. Yes, you do. Okay, on the continent of Africa, nobody knows O'Shea Duke Jackson, the YouTuber. Just because I'm from America and I have a good channel in America, they didn't know me. Nacello didn't know me. I have to prove to people that I'm trying to do good things. I got to prove to the Brand Factory, to Expat Assist, anybody I do business with, I have to prove to them that I'm legit. You never stop proving yourself. All right? That's just what it is. That's the attitude to have. All right? Go ahead, brother engineering or whoever else.
Everything you said, Duche, it's correct. Collaboration, talking to people, networking. That's the only way we can basically succeed. One person doesn't have all the knowledge in the world. You need to know. You need to basically invest in other people, and they too need to invest in you. So it's what are you bringing to the table? How can I utilize what you're bringing to the table to profit everybody, not only yourself? So it's bringing what you know, talking to people, networking. Also, again, communication is a two-way street. It's not only you talking, but the other person too. The energy each other brings to the table too. So if one person is bringing low energy and you're bringing high energy, it's not going to work. So if someone wants information from me and I don't see the zeal from that person, that's not going to work for me. I need to see the action the other person is taking, how he or she is working hard to accomplish what he or she wants to accomplish. Then I can invest in the person. So it's a two-way street in any communication. So again, everything you said, okay, was right, and that's the way I end it.
Hey, O'Shea, right. The channel you was looking at, was it Millennial Farmer?
You know what? Let me look at it here in the history. The guy I was looking at is called. No, my damn employees was looking at Insecure over here. Lord have mercy, Jesus.
Because I've been watching Millennial Farmer for about a year now. The dude up in Minnesota farming, and they show all their equipment, and this guy gets 700,000-800,000 views in a day now.
Wow.
See, and you want to see Black people doing stuff like that, but I see, we have an opportunity to do that, and we just don't for whatever reason.
Yeah, if you ever become a farmer, agriculture is in my background. I know this from personal experience when we were younger. To be a farmer, it's like drag racing. Down in the South, drag racing is big, but usually with drag racing, it's dope boys behind the racers because you can blow a $10,000 to $15,000 motor in one night. Who has $10,000 to $15,000 on hand but the D boys? And the same principle applies to farming. Most farmers have the government behind them, so your crop is bought before you even plant it, and you have insurance on all of your agriculture. I mean, Some of those combines are $500 to $750,000. Yeah, I watched that guy there too. But the millennial farmer dude has 600 and something thousand subscribers, and yeah, black guy. You know, back in the day, the '60s, my grandfather, my family were big farmers. They did cotton, but right now with farming, you know, this is the thing. We like to pick watermelons and cantaloupes. I know this is the hustle. You pick watermelons and cantaloupes in South Carolina or wherever, then you take them up to New York and you double what you're going to sell. That's the game. They'll go sell it because up north, you can't get watermelons and cantaloupes. So they'll drive all the way up north to the farmer's market and sell it up there. And they'll make runs back and forth from Florida everywhere because just say, for instance, a watermelon, you could charge $5 in South Carolina for it. Up in New York, you might can charge $12 for a watermelon. If you ever go to New York, the times I've been, you don't see watermelon around. So it's a delicacy. Watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, and all the other things. So the thing about farming is you have to get the United States Department of Agriculture in to help you. You can get the loan. I mean, if you notice, big farmers do not have manual labor around. The machines, the combines, they have.
Yeah, technology is now big in farming. Agri-tech. It's a huge aspect now. To be able to predict your crop yield before you even plant a seed is now big. To be able to use, again, data and all that to predict how your crop is going to yield is now a big aspect in farming. Even to use drones as a way to fertilize or even spray insecticides on it's a huge aspect of farming. So agri-tech is now a huge component, and it's basically very profitable.
I watched the farmer, and they have what is called John Deere Green Star. GPS drives these $800,000 tractors. They have like 20. The thing about farming, the less turns you can make, the more. Okay, in farming, diesel fuel pretty much is what powers it. A tractor, depending on what you're yielding, the more diesel fuel, the more money you spend. If that tractor can make less turns and stay in straight lines, you can save money on fuel. And as Engineer Cannabis was saying, you can have a stronger yield because now where people had an 8-row planter, they couldn't plant much. They might have a 25-foot row planter and the GPS is driving the tractor. All you got to do is get to the end of the row, turn it around, press the button again, and it will drive the tractor. So to really start in farming, you need $5 to $10 million because anytime down here in the South, if you see the deer on the side of anything, it's money. Caterpillars and deer. It is lots of money. So black farming, that would be an excellent thing. Down here, people just do watermelons and cantaloupes. I mean, it's labor intensive. Down here during football season 20 plus years ago, that's how the guys would make their money before we played football. In the summer, they would go pick watermelons and cantaloupes. And that's how they do down south. If you ever heard Rick Ross in his song say picking watermelons and cantaloupes, it is very true. I mean, you might have 30 acres of watermelons and cantaloupes, and all they're doing is taking it to the farmer's market and selling it and getting a big yield out of it. But farmers down here, I see very few black people that have the very expensive equipment. We need to get into farming. I'm actually thinking about down the line in the years to get back into it because it is it's very relaxing, but you learn a lot about how stuff goes. When I was younger, we had the chain driven planters to where you had to put them on the ground and the ground would turn it. Now they're ran by a PTO. It's the transmission off a tractor. If anybody driven a tractor before, bush hauls and all that stuff, it's what spins it. So it's a whole nother avenue. And I don't see many black farmers. If I see a black farmer, it's an old guy about 75 or 80. And down here, they'll do collards, they'll do turnips. I don't know if anybody ever tasted collards or turnips up fresh out of field. It's peas. It's a whole different taste. So y'all are getting gypped if you never had it fresh. But that's another avenue. We were talking about farming. That's another avenue. My family, we still have all the equipment where they pretty much cut up all the Massey Ferguson combines and stuff and had all the tractors. That's actually how I learned how to drive, was tractors planting in the field. But It back then it was real profitable. I mean, you plant soybeans and stuff, somebody will come, do things or plant or cut it for you, but it's a very big market.
Okay.
And in Africa, it's a big market because, for instance, if you're in a place where there's a lot of drought, you're able to use, again, agri-tech. You're able to use mathematics and data science to calculate what kind of how to predict when you have a drought, how to predict your crop yield when you have a drought, and how to replace those crop to replace with a drought, how to replace it with water, man-made water systems, or replace it with nutrients. Again, that's big business. Right now, everything again is moving into the arena of data and AI, especially within the African continent.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to use agri-tech to basically calculate, improve your yield, all that. It's basically being improved in the continent itself, especially in Nigeria. You see a lot of people now moving into that area of making it more efficient to grow, where you're reducing the risk to the farmer, where he's not going to lose too much yield based on, again, data and all that. So that's now going into agri-tech itself. So it's a big business in Nigeria too. Especially even you talked of one website, they use a blockchain aspect. You did that on O'Shea. Then the investment website for I don't know. You always talk about it, but that also that website utilizes blockchain technology and all that. So that's a huge, again, it's a lot of technology is going into the agri-tech and also fintech, but a lot of technology is basically going into the continent, especially around agricultural technology.
Mm-hmm.
So that's big business itself.
Yeah. And this last thing I'll say, I don't know of all the listeners, this is how you'll know people have money farming. The irrigation systems, if you ever see a pivot arm, a long arm going around in the field, one of those systems at a minimum is $50,000 because it has to have the electricity ran to it and it has to have water ran to it. That is how you know people have money for irrigation systems, because down here, a couple of years ago, crackheads went into the field. Copper is a great conductor of electricity, but you could sell it for scrap metal. The crackheads cost $30,000 worth of damage to the irrigation system just to get copper out of it. And you have things like that. So you're talking $50,000 to $100,000+ for that kind of equipment. So it's not a poor man's game, but I do think if we can get young black men back into farming with, as engineering cannabis was saying, it's so techy now. We have a lot of black men and women that are into technology. We could really do some damage out here. But once you get the USDA to get the contracts with food companies, you got it made.
All right.
Yeah, the USDA.
Go ahead.
You mentioned the USDA and contracts. You're exactly right. The US government is pumping a lot of money, especially within the technology of agriculture, on safety of our foods and all that, and they give a lot of contracts on technology that can help with safety of our foods. So there's a lot of money in that, not only growing our foods, but also safety of our foods. So there's a lot of money being pumped in ideas. So if a Caucasian guy comes up with an idea and says, hey, I have this idea on how to make our food safer, government might pump in, okay, here's $2 million. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You've tried it. These are the kind of money that's going through the economy. And if you can bring up an idea, a viable idea, they will give you enough money to try it. So these are the areas we need to focus on. I've seen that and how food safety and other aspects of it itself.
All right. You got any last words, guys?
I appreciate coming on the show. I might be able to do another show Friday or Saturday night.
Okay.
But tomorrow night I'm gonna be occupied watching this event.
All right. And guys, I'm supposed to be in Kenya, Nairobi, for a few days before I'm actually leaving. Hopefully, well, I'm leaving the continent in November, so I got about a week or two left here. I'm kind of glad to be. I need to get back to my life and what I was doing before, but I will be back maybe in December for Christmas. So I'll be in Nairobi, so hopefully I'll be in Nairobi tomorrow, Saturday, and but we'll still have the Club King Ganda that's going to come up for you guys, and so thank you guys, brother Ali. Anything else you want to say?
Nope. I just appreciate you having me on, O'Shea, and good to chop it up with the brothers as always. And look forward to doing it again.
Right. Okay. Yes. And so, guys, just look at all the opportunity that that Black people have with one another. Let me just say this before we go, guys. We're missing out on a lot of opportunity not working with one another. DeAndre Kershaw. Right. Thank you, brother. So listen, I'm a living witness. Everything I got right now on YouTube, I got all Black people. Didn't get it from whites. Didn't get it from the Greater Society. I developed my platform for Blacks, and listen, I ain't nothing, and I don't want for anything, right? I just work with the people that I can work with. Everybody I work with is Black, except for Dima, and he's an editor. So I'm a living witness. It can be done, and you just have the mindset that you can do it. Anytime that you are working with people and you're good things happen. Worry about being good. There's going to be always reasons and times that you can complain that people not doing this and not doing that. Don't worry about that. I try to tell Black people all the time. Don't worry about people telling you that. There's always going to be people that listen. Don't worry about that. You have the mindset that, all right, it's going to happen. It might not happen right away, but I'm not going to give up. And if you do that, you're going to have much more impact in your local community. You will have more impact wherever you're going if you're repatting. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to have that mentality where you're going somewhere and repatting and think you're going to be successful. You're not going to be able to do it. It's going to be a lot of times that you're going to be, I was talking to them about this last night before the show started. It's going to be times that wherever you're going, Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, Gambia, you're going to have situations with people and you're going to be like, man, this is some bullshit. I can't believe this is going on. Like, how did you not get this? That might happen sometime, right? But you're going to have a lot of experiences where people do get it and they can add to your life. So we the only community that we have to keep talking about this. Karen, hey, that's my lady right there. See, thank you so much for working with the Brand Factory. We're happy working with you. Yeah, I can have every reason in the world to not want to work with Black people, but I don't look at that. I was just there today with Karen. She gave me a really, really good, I know she was watching live, but look for talented people you can work with. Then you don't have those issues. I do that in the African American community. I do that here in Africa. I don't give a shit about people that have problems. No, I just don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't. A lot of y'all care too much about things that you can't change. I can't change people's minds about me. And I don't give a damn. Brother Franklin, hey, brother. That's a good brother out there. He's doing some good work. He had the AgriCorp stuff. Franklin does good jobs in London, in the Nigerian community. He don't give a shit about complaining about it. He does the work. So consider that. So guys, I'll see you guys later. I got work to do tonight, all night. Thanks, brother Dr. Patrick, for coming on. Brother Ali, Engineering Truth Channel. And we'll see you guys later. Peace out.
All right.
Hey.